Dom, if you could throw up the tweet that was posted this morning that reminded people of a time from 5 years ago today. Here it is. This is all of us watching the Hell in a Cell main event from 2019, October 7th, 2019. The Fiend, Seth freaking Rollins. Was he freaking at the time? I don't think he was freaking yet. For the Universal Championship. And on this day, WWE said, Sean Waltman probably got X-Pac heat from this one for what he said. Maybe Matt can't tell you later. And I tweeted, I said, we will cover that. Now, I've talked about this a little bit on the show. So, Seth Rollins, days prior to this, was the very first in-studio, first guest ever on the bump. Came in as the Universal Champion. We loaded up the show. Adam Cole was on. I can't remember who else was on. Maybe Charlotte. But Seth was on. And if you guys remember, The Fiend had that big debut with Finn at SummerSlam. And the entrance and everything. Oh, my, what the hell was that? Oh, this guy's... And then it got out via advanced marketing that Seth Fiend was happening at Hell in a Cell. Now that, I will tell you, now you don't see this much anymore, that advanced promotional stuff has always been a thing. Sometimes it's just faces on a poster. Sometimes it promotes a stip type of match like War Games. Sometimes it promotes a return or, hey, Roman's on that poster and we haven't seen him, or Brock's on that poster and we haven't seen him. They seem to be a bit smarter about what they put on those advanced materials. You want to sell the show, you want to sell tickets, but you don't want to give up too much. I totally get that. For whatever reason, the Seth Fiend match got, I don't know if you want to call it leaked. I don't know if you want to call it revealed too soon. And they did it. And so a couple of months into what should be a special attraction, someone who probably shouldn't be anywhere near the championship as he's relaunching a new gimmick, ends up in this title match with Seth Rollins, a babyface. A very clear babyface who had to overcome a lot that year. Brock Lesnar. That's the year Seth beats Brock to open up Mania. He had done a lot to get to that point. He was starting to get over. He was starting to get over the way they wanted him to get over as a babyface champion. And they run him into the Fiend, who had just gotten a great reaction at SummerSlam against the babyface Finn, and instead they lean into the horror movie character aspect of it, and they make him a heel. And unfortunately for Seth, he was fighting an uphill battle. And I remember interviewing him on the show, and he's got to sell the Fiend and kind of be a little scared, and he's more unsure and uncertain. But it was very much like, what's this going to be? And that pay-per-view is very good. It's a very good, the Becky and Sasha match is excellent. It's a very strong show. The crowd was very good. So that's my first watch along. Now, I'm a month into working there. I am days from being on WWE programming for the very first time as part of the bump. Injury report, all that stuff. And you're going to watch long. We want to introduce the members of the bump cast, a little bit here and there, and that's a good way to get you. So there's a couple of us there. And it was very much like, all right, you'll be on for these matches. And at some point, it's just like, just stay out there. We know you can kind of cover time. And I remember talking to Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Claudio's in there. And it was a host of people. That's honestly where I started my unintentional feud with Xavier Woods about taking the studio. The Up, Up, Down, Down studio is also the Bump studio. And that's where I revealed that who would be your dream guest on the Bump. I want Todd Pettengill. And then he was on Watch Along a few months later. It was fun, though, being on there, interacting with people, talking, and then we get the main event. And they put the red lights on, and I'm learning, okay, we're selling that product. I don't know what the finish is. And I was not keyed in. Sometimes I knew finishes, sometimes I didn't. It just depended. Sometimes they were in the Raw drafts or SmackDown drafts or PLE. Sometimes they weren't. Which is fine. I didn't need to know. I didn't want to know. You want to have some direction just in case. But I wasn't told anything. So we're watching this, and there's that clip that's there from On This Day in WWE, and people bringing that up. And we're watching this match, and you got to kind of talk in kayfabe ways, Oh, Seth, is he going to go to these lengths? Once again, you're an actor. You're playing a part in the show. Sean doesn't know the finish. Nobody in there really knows the finish. So Seth's trying to take out the Fiend with whatever he can, and he finally gets that toolbox in. He goes to smash it, and Fiend's underneath. And as soon as he does, you're ding, 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 ding. And that's when everybody's like, huh? And right there, what exactly happened right there? And I don't know. I have no idea what the official finish is, but I'm going, all right, it's Hell in a Cell. And I think Natty said DQ, and X-Pac's like, I don't know if they invite me back if I say this, but you can't do a DQ in a Hell in a Cell. And that's when even though the internet said otherwise, that is when I go, I don't think it's a DQ. I think it's a ref stoppage. And it's like, and that, somebody else repeated, well, it's DQ. Oh, interesting, or something like that. And I'm like, he just, they rang the bell. They're racing the cage. He's still the champ. They did a ref stoppage. Seth won that match, and whether they called it a no, he inflicted too much pain on the Fiend. According to the ref, the referee calls the match. The referee can do that. And I am just trying to make sense of what I'm seeing, because it's a Hell in a Cell. Of course there's no DQ. Or is there? Like, you're not going to get DQ'd for doing too much violence. And I literally am just watching it, trying to make sense. I have no one in my ear telling me, hey, don't say this. I have no one in my ear telling me it's a DQ. I have no one in my ear telling it's a ref stop. Nothing. I am just going. Because I don't think the people on the set that were producing and directing knew. Like I said, they didn't give all the finishes out. And I just try to make sense of it. And we kind of try to get it off the air after that. And, there's the aftermath, and the fans are furious. Furious. Which I've told that story before, Vince being happy about it and Vic blowing him off and all that. But the fans are absolutely furious. So we go on the bump, episode 2. And it's very much like, what do we say about this? We ask. And we get a quote from the referee, who I believe was Rod Zapata. We get like a quote from him. And it, was about discretion or whatever, or why he made the call. And we're literally trying to make sense of it. Wednesday, 3 days after this happens, we are trying to make sense of it, and trying to now tell the audience, here's what happened. And that's the tough part. That is the only thing I would call a tough part of the job when you're on camera, is selling crap, is selling what is shit. Everybody knows it's shit. You knew enough to not ask Seth about that after a while, because I know he despised it. And this is not a Seth and Bray. It was making sense of it. Those guys love each other. They did then. Seth, it wasn't about those two guys. Those two guys went in there and executed a crazy man's vision that made no sense, that got the crowd to turn on it. And what purpose does that serve? Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody under the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did, just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette.
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partners. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.